just a good old boy.
Alrighty, y'all, we got a busy day today. We're trying to haul hay. I got the case just quit on me. Won't run. Dad bring New Holland down to get some horse hay out that we need at the house for horse customers. And I've got to try to see if I can't fix this loader and get it running. Don't really have a clue what it is. I parked it, it was running, got back on it, it won't crank. So it's got a broken battery cable terminal on it on the negative side that needs to be fixed, but other than that I don't know of anything that's wrong with it. It was turning. I turned it over and turned it over and turned it over yesterday, and it would not crank. Now that being said, the battery has been a little weaker than normal, and I know that's because of this terminal. So while I'm doing this, I've got to jump this thing off. I'm gonna go ahead and replace this terminal. So that way I can get good contact and get this thing going. I'm hoping that maybe it was just the fuel gauge on this thing don't work, and hoping maybe it ran out of fuel is what I'm hoping, because it didn't have much in it, I can tell you that. When I filled it up, and then I tried to crank it and the battery was dead, because this thing's done this before. Shoot, I forgot the dang 3/8 ratchet that I needed. Crap. Well, we're gonna have to improvise. It's done this before and acted like this, and it was a sensor on it, but I have a feeling it's not the sensor. I think maybe it just ran out of fuel is what I'm hoping, but that way it's not an expensive fix here. Down in here with me, Dad's loading hay right now, and I love how this battery on this thing showed that it was full, and now it's flashing that it's dead. So this may not be a video that gets made. I got another camera in the truck. Might have to go get it here in a minute. But I gotta get this thing loose. Take it off. About 2 seconds. It's probably gonna take a while now because I forgot the ratchet. I thought I grabbed it, but evidently not. It's not in the bag. Whew. Once I get this on, I'm gonna hook the jump box to it. See if it'll crank. Now, it could have something to do with me washing that thing out in the bottom here the other day, which I'm hoping it don't. Y'all can see there is still a little bit left in there, but it's nothing like what it was. Dang, I really needed that ratchet, and I didn't bring a wrench this size because I thought, well, I've got the ratchet, I'm not going to need a wrench that size. So I didn't worry about it. And lo and behold, what'd you do? Forget the dang ratchet. So now I've got to try to tighten this down with this Swiss Army knife. This has been the best money I ever spent in my life, was a Swiss Army knife, and it is a legit Swiss Army knife. And there is a huge difference. I talked about this, I think, one time before, right after I bought this thing. There's a huge difference in a Swiss Army knife and a knockoff. The knockoffs, the little screwdrivers ain't worth a crap. None of the little tools will hold up if you actually use them. The actual Swiss Army knife, it lasts. It holds up. It's as good as any tool you got in your toolbox. I took this thing with me everywhere. It has gotten me out of more than one jam, I promise you that. It's like now it's saving me a trip back to the house for a ratchet. So that's tight. Now we gotta tighten this up. How's it? A little bit more. I don't like to over tighten these things too bad because it causes a break later. This thing is not tightening now. A little bit more. Still needs a little bit. That's good. Now, see if it turns over. Oh, I have to get the jump box. Alright, I got the jump box on. Let it try it without letting it sit first. I might have to let it sit for a minute. Yeah. I'm gonna have to let it sit for just a second and let this thing get some juice in it. If that don't work, I'll have to pull my truck in here and hook the cables up to it. It's a long stretch the way this thing was parked, and I parked it. It's my fault. I should have turned it around. And hopefully they'll reach. But Dad's out here loading hay. We'll walk out here, watch him for a minute. Hot battery chargers, putting some juice in that thing. He's loading horse hay up with the new haul on. I got it running. Put that I don't remember, did I film that? I had to put a new roller on it, but I don't remember if I filmed that or not. It may be on the SD card, but I can't remember. Anyway, I put a new roller on the loader. If I didn't, got it back going again. It also had a slight hydraulic leak. I feel like all I ever do is work on these loaders, trying to get them to run. Yeah, I got a feeling that the little jump box just ain't gonna cut it on this one. I'm gonna have to probably hook my truck up to it. Let me see if I can't maneuver it around and get it in here. Alright, I got the cables hooked up. Set the idle up on the truck. Help it a little bit. Did I already have it on? Yeah, I already had it on. Alright, let's try it now. See what she'll do. Let her sit for a second. I got her to spin over. Get some juice back in that thing. Maybe because the voltage was too low because of that connector, and it wasn't allowing the battery to recharge because that cable was broke and wasn't getting a good contact. Could just be something that, I hope it's something that simple. I just really don't want to have to get into anything big with this thing. I just have fixed that line underneath it, went through that whole major project. This one here is normally problem free for the most part. It's that one that's constantly something major. This one here has a little something every now and then, which these things, this loader here gets run a lot. That one there gets run quite a bit, but I just didn't figure, the more stress than we put on it, the parts that keep going bad are stuff that I figured wouldn't have an issue with, which they were already wore out before we bought it, I guess. Problem with the tracks, the reason why they had to replace it, because they got dry rotted from whoever owned it before. I think they were the original tracks that was on the machine, maybe. And then not, it was a set somebody throwed on it that was dry rotted that they had laying around just to sell it. And then it has a lot of hydraulic valve problems. They changed the valves on those later. It's constantly got a problem with the hydraulic valve on that loader. Leaking, something, sticking, pain or ruin. Try her again. Well, if it's fuel, this ether should crank. I'm gonna put a little bit of ether in there and try to crank it. No fuel. It picks up whenever I go to spin it, so that was what I didn't want to happen, because you can't get to this thing to bleed it. Whoops! We ran it out of fuel, I guess. We're not getting any fuel. Alright, been working on a little bit, got some fuel up to where I should be able to get one of these to squirt anyway. The trouble is just getting to these dang things. release them. Crack these backings. See if we can't get some fuel up here. Can't see nothing. Turn this thing over for him. I ain't got nobody here to me. There you go, cranker. At least now. Whew. Another one back going again. Set this back in there. All that in there. Evidently, when that fuel gauge don't work, we ran that thing out of fuel. And no, don't hit my mirror. And that was what was wrong with it. Why it would crank yesterday. I just didn't have time to fool with it then. I was hauling hay out of the field that we still got left. Probably got to do some more of that today. I might throw that in this video. If not, it'll be in the next, and hopefully if it works out. But yeah, It's got this thing going. I'm glad it was something stupid like that. It's better than something broken. Shit happens. That's just the way it goes. Sometimes you do stupid things, but the fuel gauge on it don't work. It's liable to show no fuel in it. It's liable to show full fuel. You can fill it up and it show no fuel in it. So it needs fixing. But in order to fix it, it's in the instrument cluster. I got to buy a whole new instrument cluster to go in it, and I don't even know what that's going to cost. So we'll just have to keep a better eye on it, make sure it stays full from now on. But it didn't cost anything but time, which costs a lot. But I'm glad it wasn't nothing actually broken. But got it running. I'm gonna spin her around that way. If the battery does die, I can get to it. I probably need to leave it running, but I've got crap to go do. I need to go get done. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe. If I don't throw some hay footage in this video, I don't know. We'll see.